We have not yet, in my view, this differs from your view, we have not yet named a one, in my view. I know,
Yeah.
I know you named potentially
Or a 3 for that
Captain
matter.
America. Right, or a 3. We got to talk about types that we relate to, right?
Yes.
But
Selfish needs must be met.
as we were preparing for this conversation, I was thinking, since I'm one, what ones are in Avengers? Because I hadn't really thought about it.
Captain America.
Yeah, maybe Captain America. Although, I think we're going to expand the universe out a little bit to characters who did appear in the Avengers movies, but in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, snap.
What's her name now? The Green Woman.
Yeah, the Green Woman.
One
The
with a 2 wing.
Green Woman.
I think one with a 2 wing. She interacts with Star-Lord, who I would say is clearly a 7. I would say. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So shizzle.
All throughout Western culture, you'll see pairings of 1s and 7s for comic effect, and I think that this is one of them. Where he's all let's have a good time and screw the rules.
They're not at the most optimal health levels.
Right. But they're both attractive, and so they make it work.
So we like watching that, and we like drama. We wouldn't like all healthy types. It'd be a little
right. And it's actually a take on Sam and Diane. You know Sam and Diane? You're a little young. Cheers.
Thank you.
That was the most popular comedy on TV for a long time.
Thanks for that level of description. I do know of Cheers because when Cheers would come on, I would turn off.
Oh wow.
That and MASH.
That's sad. That's sad.
That probably is.
Diane was a 1. Sam was a 7. And it's always the comic effect.
Ted Danson is Sam.
Yes, right.
Woody Harrelson's a 9.
Yeah.
Just because he's a 9.
But we're not talking about Cheers overly right now, right?
There.
We're just all over the board. Let's talk about ancient Greek personalities.
Agreed.
Who is the character up against Star-Lord? What is her name? Her name is Gamora.
I was thinking of hot green chick, but
that could get confused with Star Trek. So
fair enough.
But Gamora.
Fair enough.
Gamora. So I would say one with the 2 wing.
That's a pretty solid guess.
Yeah, no challenge there.
No.
All right, you heard it. You heard it. No challenge.
Yeah, because she represents like the not as healthy one where there's kind of a stick up her butt. Where
excuse me?
Who put the sticks up their butts?
What? No, that's just a.
That is cruel.
Just a phrase people use.
There are other ones out there who might object to. Unhealthy. Not me. I think it's just fine.
Types.
But other ones might think that that's unfair.
Just are we talking about fairness? I didn't realize we got to that part of the conversation.
Oh, always.
But just kind of like there's like an appropriate way it needs to be. There isn't a lot of play and fun about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of in that like.
Well, he draws that part out of her. I wouldn't think of her as unhealthy. I think she's very high integrity, principled. She's always calling the group to do the right thing.
Yeah, maybe there's just like a stiff.
There's a stiffness to it. Her character might even agree with that because you see Star-Lord sort of draw that part out of her. The fun. Like there's a scene in one of the Guardian movies where he's trying to get her to dance and she won't dance.
Right.
Well, in the end, she's dancing. So
well, that 1 in 7 connection, we could talk about that all day. But match made in heaven right there.
So there's a 1.
Oh, a 3. Going out on a limb here. I went with Nebula.
Ooh, Nebula, a 3.
Call that a curveball.
Curveball, yeah. So Nebula is Gamora's sister. I think 4.
Okay.
Yeah. There's always a sense of I don't belong. There's something missing. I don't belong. I want to belong. And that's her fight. I mean, mostly related to her father and her sister.
Right. So my take on that is that most 4s, at least to my understanding, don't really care with fitting in or being a part of it, whereas 3s are all about, I want dad or mom's approval, and I want to do anything and everything that I can.
Yeah.
This is in the more fixated space. And the whole time she is consumed with getting her father's love and attention.
That's true. That's true.
And so there's a heightened caring about what her dad thinks of her, which is kind of a or caricature of what the Enneagram Type 3 is all about. It's like, I want to be loved and valued in the eyes of the person that I care about.
Yeah, that most important person, right? I can see that.
Whereas 4s kind of, to me, are like, I'm my own person. I give 0 fucks. And
well,
even though they might secretly, the facade
that's what I was going to say. That that on the it's harder to admit I give a fuck if I'm caught up in 4 stuff, but with I'm forgetting her name already. Tell me her name again. Nebula. Part of her character. Yeah, very good.
For having one that like you didn't know. Like, that's a win.
Part of her character is that she is different than everyone else. That she's she like there's a scene where she says, "I wasn't always like this." And so so that sort of took my attention to 4, but I think
as a 3, listen to this guy.
He may very well be right.
Yeah, and it comes simply, literally because of the relationship with her father and how, like, when I look at her, there's just this "please love me, Dad" thing that
clearly
drives her entire character.
Yeah.
And is at the heart of everything that she does.
You're winning me over. I think you might be right.
Rocket, let's start there.
Rocket.
The wisecracking little rabbit.
Rocket, yeah. So there's certainly some 7 energy there. I'm thinking, is he a 7? 7? 7. I'm going to land there.
7.
I'm 7.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Question. Okay, statement. 7. 7.
7, 6, or 6, 7. There's a. It's funny. There's a little like bite in there.
Yeah, there's a 6 bite.
Yeah, which is kind of giving me the 6-ish. Like there's a. Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it. Little 6 bite.
They know what you mean. The 6 bite.
That's my people.
But I'm going to land on 7 with the 6 wing.
Okay.
Self-pres, right? For those, you're not all that interested in the instinctual variance. Right?
Well, I just don't think of it. It's not that I'm not interested.
To me, it's really an important element because it's like, where does their attention go as far as I need to watch out for myself, or no, it's even more important about if I'm connecting with important people, or if I have some greater sense of where I belong.
Rocket has a self-pres vibe to me.
Yeah.
Sweet, got that one right. Happy guy. Okay.
So who's the tree? Groot. I think we probably agree on.
Do tell.
I think we agree. I don't know that we agree.
That is famous last
9
words right there. Yeah, that's what I want to.
It's just especially as a teenager, right? I just want to play my video game.
Just leave me alone. Check it out.
But when called upon to be heroic, he made the handle for Thor's axe. Right? He's actually done a few heroic things. When really called out. Like wake up.
Wake up, buddy. Get in here.
Yeah.
Do your thing. That's true. All right. Well, then.
Mantis. Mantis, is that her name? The one with the antennas. Is she Mantis?
Yes. I haven't even thought of her. I've instantly go to 4. Not sure why.
I think her appearance is 4, but her personality seems to be very 9 to me. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, and there's like it's her empath. Sensitive way that feels very 4, like taking stuff on, being able to detect what's going on, like hypersensitivity. I mean, that's her gift. Is that? But yeah, I get you on the 9.
Because she doesn't. Because to me, that's really helpful to think. How 2 different types share certain things in common. Like if I'm thinking about Mantis, I think that's her name. Yes, she's an empath, and so that might call you to think a heart type. But then I'm also thinking, what she thinks about that, or does she take pride in that? It's just It's just a fact.
It's just an isness to it.
Yeah, that makes me think 9.
Which it's funny. That would actually give me a 5. But she's clearly like one of the withdrawn types. What about
I'm glad you have all these notes.
The wrestler guy.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name. He's a crack up. I'm glad he's in there. The challenge with him is he just appears kind of young, but what you see is what you get. There's no filter on that guy. I'm trying to think what type this. You're really trying to milk this one out of me. We're just gonna have to be with my silence for a moment here while I think. So that would lead me to a heart, not a heart type. So 1.
We're talking about the shirtless, muscly guy, right?
For sure.
No,
not 9. Not so much 8. I'm struggling this one. 6 or a 1?
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm reaching.
I'm not getting either one of those. I would think 9 with an 8 wing, perhaps an 8 with a 9 wing.
Oh.
He's pretty much go with the flow.
Super go with the flow.
But he's got an 8 sort of, if you push me, I'll push back.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't go out of his way to push people at all, which makes me think 9. But that 8 wing. So that's where I land. I don't get 1 at all. He's not sitting there thinking,
No.
is what you're doing right or wrong, or is what I'm doing right or wrong. More like Gamora might be,
Yeah, he's an interesting one. I don't even know how to think.
Yeah,
of
he's also one that's not as fleshed out as.
Right, 9 might be a good guess because it's kind of I don't know, it's where you put them because it's kind of like a mixture of all the types. It's very well integrated, those 9s.
I think of 9 as very distinct. It's its own type.
Yeah, there's just a matter of factness about him that I can't.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that's really attributed to any particular type.
For me, it's more than anything else. There's an easygoingness about him, even in the face of extreme.
Easygoing, doesn't care what other people think, like at all.
Right. So not an image type.
For sure.
Very likely, and certainly he's not particularly thoughtful.
Yeah.
Which gives some suggestion about potential of head type, but yeah, he's not fearful. He's not a big plan maker.
No, definitely not.
He's just like, I got my chips, and
that's what they say about the head types is that they cope with life they strategize in order to plan things. So that kind of moves those off the table too.
He doesn't spend a whole lot of time thinking.
Yeah, 9's kind of the jam.
We're gonna settle on 9. Tell us what you think.